This week, Nick goes down under to find out how those cogs and wheels keep an iconic building going. But is he getting a bit too hands-on?
You just shut the whole building down.
I better not touch it anymore.
Ever wondered what it takes to put on this kind of show?
Let's go and see some magical secret stuff.
Alastair's going behind the scenes at Europe's biggest theme park.
Now, what vegetation do you think might make the best climbers? Mushrooms, apparently. We meet two pioneers replacing the plastic in their sport with fungi.
And it's time to get up close and personal with Lara here, and a technique that could help diagnose diseases like Parkinson's earlier.
What would you have been able to do differently?
I'd have been able to go off and do something that I wanted to do, maybe go around the world.
It's one of the most instantly recognisable buildings in the world. The Sydney Opera House, an architectural marvel that plays host to some 2,000 shows and 11 million visitors each year. Now at 51 years old, this UNESCO World Heritage listed performing arts space is more sustainable than ever. And today I'm going backstage to see the innovation at work behind the scenes.
This is building operations, which is where the nerve centre of the Opera House is, really.
Oh, look at this place.
Around about 66,000 jobs that come through this office, which is manned 24/7. As you know, that's one of the busiest art centres in the world, which we basically don't sleep. So it's a hive of activity. This is where we control everything from the temperature around the building, waste management, all essential services, security services, HVAC, mechanical, you name it, it sort of comes out of this particular office.
It's all monitored from here, the Building Management and Control System, or BMCS for short, an interactive digital dashboard engineered by Honeywell. And one of the most crucial things for any theatre to get right, temperature.
You might have a audience that, you know, we try to maintain 22.5, but if we have a comedian come in, they might want it at 19 degrees.
I'm actually surprised by how much it's varying. Do people in better seats get better temperatures?
Unfortunately.
Is it chilly at the back?
It's not chilly at the back.
Jokes aside, the house has recently been awarded with the highest 6-star performance certification by Green Building Council Australia in recognition as a global leader in sustainable practice. That's partly down to its fresh focus on air quality.
If we do have high pollution levels, we can close down the amount of outside air that we're bringing into the theatre. So as you can imagine, when we were going through those devastating bushfires, we were able to actually control the system to allow low levels of air to be able to come into the venues, enough to be able to maintain the system, but to be able to keep the conditions right for the audience and the artists that are performing on stage.
Over 1,400 different sensors are scattered all around the house, feeding live data back to base.
When we are operating in a comfortable, better air quality space, we are more productive, and even the facility wear and tear reduces greatly. So what the technology is really doing is it's looking at individual spaces every 15 minutes, and it's trying to optimize the energy consumption of that space.
Ah, so that's the temperature there that comes out.
That's correct.
Oh, I've just done something there.
That's all right. You just shut the whole building down.
I better not touch it anymore. Time to move on and see some less sensitive instruments. Yeah, these'll do.
At any one time, the Opera House can have up to 20,000 visitors. So keeping them all cool is a big challenge because as soon as they arrive, their body heat naturally warms up the venue.
So its original engineers thought up a solution using what's right on their doorstep.
What we do is we take seawater in from the Sydney Harbour. They run around a series of hundreds of pipes around our domestic water. So that's how we take the temperature of our domestic water down, which in turn allows us to save energy. So we don't actually have to use electricity to be able to do that. We can actually use our seawater, which is one of the beauty of just being on the Sydney Harbour.
Being exposed to the elements has its disadvantages, especially when it comes to outdoor concerts. But the smart system is helping here too.
When wind speed gets up to certain levels, it activates a safety plan, for example, removing things off tables and knowing when to hold a show or an event or a performer coming on stage.
The software has helped the house reduce its water and energy use by 20% in the last 5 years, and is on a mission to become carbon positive by the end of the decade.
6-star is normally something you would give to a new build, right? Where you can use all of the latest technologies, but we're the Opera House. You can't put a solar panel on the roof here. We're a World Heritage listed building. Technology is way ahead of their time, still is used today, that was original to this building.
And that's because its architect, Jorn Utzon, designed with sustainability in mind.
Even the tiles are self-cleaning. The spherical design of the structure allows for good drainage, and the only thing that washes it is the rain.
Every 5 years, each tile is manually inspected and digitally catalogued. All 1,555,000 of them.
That's a lot of tiles.
That's a lot of tiles. So that's a lot of inspections that we need to do around the building, and software like this allows us to actually strip the building down and monitor. So if I had this sort of software 10 years ago, I would know that, the materials I use, I'd be able to monitor the health of the building and really have a data log for, when I leave the Opera House, the next person who takes my job, I'll know how I repaired it. So this sort of information will help the longevity of the building continue.
How do you tackle the challenge of retrofitting this heritage building?
We feel a great sense of responsibility to not just care for this place and to treasure and renew this building for future generations, but we also talk about ourselves as custodians. We all have a temporary existence, and the time that we have as people that work and look after this place is really significant.
I'm at Disneyland Paris, where every night hundreds of drones take to the sky to entertain crowds of people looking on from below. These kinds of shows are becoming a regular feature at festivals, New Year celebrations and sports events all over the world.
Have you ever seen a drone show in the sky and wondered, how do they do that? We're going to find out.
And it's a journey that's going to take us behind the scenes of the inner workings of this theme park and meet some of those bringing the magic to life.
So for the show we have a total of 519 drones, 500 doing standard drones and 19 drones which are carrying pyrotechnics, so smoke effects or sparklers or fountain effects, which just add a little bit of extra magic during the show.
But our trip behind the scenes here started much earlier in the day as the team get ready for the big show at the end of the night.
Hey, Alistair,
Hello.
you found me. Okay.
Here we are.
Let's go and see some magical secret stuff. So, here we go. These are the drones in question. Obviously, these ones are in the workshop. So this is where Drone Resource maintains all the drones that we have every night on the show. So it's just like a commercial aircraft almost. They do a pre-flight check. They check the motors, they check the antennas, the communication, the lights, everything is checked. And if there's any issue with a specific drone, they just take out that drone and they put in another drone that's ready to go.
The drone they use has been specially adapted for this use. It weighs just 600 grams, with an LED light on the front and a large antenna. The tech and the software behind it is made by French company Dronesos.
Hi.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
This is the drone. And so how do you get them to stay in the right place in the sky?
Well, everything is pre-programmed. We use GPS, we use the Wi-Fi as well. We have a different way of communicating with the drones.
And then you have 500 drones all moving in sync together.
Yes, and you have the drones that are lit on, that you can see. But of course, while you have a character or a figure in the sky, some other drones are off and are traveling to their next location.
How do they not crash? How do they know where to go and be in the
They're
right
smart.
place?
These are smart drones. And this software that we Dronesos developed has several layers of security and intelligence.
So every single drone is completely ignorant to what it has to do prior to the show. If it's placed in a specific point on the takeoff zone, it knows it's number 312, and then if that one's placed somewhere else, that's number 378. But that's their one role, and that's all that they do. They take off, they do their show.
This show is on every night of the year, weather dependent. That's a lot of pressure that this tech is under to be working fully and up in the sky.
Absolutely. And what was developed for this show was something called hot swap. If a drone has a problem with a motor or a battery or anything that happens, so it'll either come home or it'll literally go straight down. But if it does go straight down, there's a drone that's waiting to take its place. Drones are flying 1.50 meters apart, so that drone has to navigate through this sea of drones in the sky and then parks up and takes over and runs the show in its place, which is very, very clever. This is the control room, so this is where all of the show aspects are controlled. This is Michael. Michael, he's the stage manager. He's in charge of all the technicians for the show.
At this time of night, a lot of people start looking up at the sky because the weather is really important here.
Rain is a really big factor because it's in the preparation time. It takes 2 hours for them to install all the drones, do all the checking, everything that we spoke about. Then, of course, there's the wind. So prior to the show, they send up 3 drones. 3 drones that fly up to one at like 110 meters, another one at 70, another one at 40 meters. And each of these drones has a black box on it, just like an aircraft. The drones go up there, they take the weather, they see if there's like a gust and what the average is and what that wind speed at those different heights. And then that decision is made. The stage manager then says yes, no, and that decision is taken 5 minutes before the show. So we really, really try to the last moment to be able to do it. It's really as close to the wire.
Weather is the big limiting factor of this kind of technology. Despite that, drone shows are fast becoming a fixture of events all around the globe, and there's no denying their potential to entertain.
There's a trend lately to put more drones in the shows. You know, it's not a matter of numbers, it's really a matter of experience. And maybe the drones tomorrow could react to what the audience is doing. So this is something that I really want to see.
The future is endless, is all I can say, really, because, you know, we're only limited by aerospace and imagination.
Well, that was amazing. And with these drone shows happening all over the world now, I can't wait to see my next one.